All being in order, we'll start with that 1B pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Item 2, approval of minutes from the July 8th, 2024 regular council meeting. If no objections are registered, council chair shall approve same as written. Don't have no objections. Item 3, approval of warrants. Suggest the motion move to approve and sign warrants 4 through 11 in the amount of $635,825.19.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all those in favor? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Roll call.
Councilor Summers,
Yes. Here.
Councilor Ireland,
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy,
Yes.
Councilor Moisen,
Yes.
Councilor Street,
Yes.
Councilor Trask,
Yes.
Councilor Edwards.
Yes. Vote passes 7-0. Item 4, acceptance of gifts, donations, and grants. Suggest a motion move to approve and accept the following gifts, donations, and grants in the amount of $485 as detailed below. David and Nancy Bean, $100, and 3-on-3 Boone Fast Attorney for $385.
So move.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Roll call.
Councilor Summers,
Yes.
Councilor Ireland,
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy,
Yes.
Councilor Moisen,
Yes.
Councilor Street,
Yes.
Councilor Trask,
Yes.
Councilor Edwards.
Yes. Vote passes 7-0. Item 5, chairman's and general comments. We don't have anything.
I have two people here this evening that I am introducing to you. You've seen them prior to, but sometimes a revisit is good. So I'd like to start with Steve Levesque, our economic development person.
Good evening.
Evening.
So a couple things going on, as you probably read about in the news. So just so you'll understand a little bit about the protocol is, first of all, we don't like to talk publicly about a project that we don't have a signed lease or agreement on. We don't want to get in front of the council or anybody like that. This is a company that it's out there now. This is a company we've been working with for a while. And we've been talking to them, and we actually gave them a letter of support to apply for the grant that they got on the mill site. And we were somewhat surprised that they got the grant and didn't tell us that it was coming. So we still have to negotiate a lease that we'll bring back before you, and we hope to be able to do that by the meeting in September. So that's how that works. And so typically, we'll be talking to a company. Sometimes they want us to sign non-disclosure agreements, and we'll work with them. And we're working with probably about 10 different entities that are looking at properties. Some turn out to be real, some turn out to be not so real. So we don't want to get out ahead of that, particularly in the press. So the idea is that we try to keep things quiet until we have a deal that we can bring to you that's worthwhile. So that's just how that process works. But with that exception, this is a great opportunity for the town. It really puts us on the map. We're already getting calls from other potential project investors. Obviously it's going to be a great complement to BioFine. It won't conflict with them. With the site that they're looking at, it's a site off Park Avenue on a part of the mill site that doesn't have any contamination issues. So we're pretty excited about that. So over the next month, we'll be working with them. They plan on coming up with their group and doing a visit in another week or so. And we'll work through at least term sheet that we can bring to you folks next month. That's the plan right now. With that said, we got really good news. The Senate Appropriations Committee voted to put our other grant application through at $4.5 million to start making improvements at the Scales Road entrance. We got the grant this year for the Depot Street, now Scales Road, and then what we'll do is if we start taking buildings down in the middle, we'll start making those connections. So with that, if that's approved by Congress, it should be, because it came out of the Appropriations Committee with a vote of 28-1. But who knows what our Congress is going to do, but hopefully that will get passed this winter. And that money will be available to start working on too. But with that dollars and the other dollars we got from environmental remediation, and the application we're submitting to EDA for the Innovation Center, about $20 million that the town's likely to receive. So that's all good news. And just some of the things we were trying to do for the future, that's the mill site. We want to start working on a workforce housing project adjacent to the mill site, maybe near Catad Avenue. That's a good spot to extend there. We're going to be working with some folks on a trail, a river trail along the mill site, along the western boundaries of the mill site. Hopefully, we're working with the Penobscot Nation on that project. We want to do a downtown facade program. The downtown looks great with the improvements. We want to do a facade program so businesses can actually get some grants and loans to fix up their sides of their buildings and the front of their buildings. And then we're also, because we want to do the Innovation Center, which is going to spur some new businesses in the community, we want to develop a small business loan program. So those are some of the things that we're working on for the future as well. So you happy to answer any questions?
I guess one thing I was realizing is I noticed that there are grants now out for being able to put in EV systems, chargers. Is that anything we're going to try to go for to try to encourage up here?
We haven't looked at it, but I think that's a good opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
So, having heard from Steve, I think he has much good news there. We continue along, and we are making progress. Here's one of the pieces of progress we've made. Here's Stephen Jones. He is with BioFarm, and he's ready to speak to you about their progress.
Hi, everybody. Good to see everybody again. Thank you for giving me an opportunity again to give you a little update on the BioFine project. So as Rick said, I'm Stephen Jones. I'm managing partner with Treadwell Franklin Infrastructure and the finance director at BioFine Developments Northeast, who is the sponsor of the BioFine project. So I'll give you just a real quick review of what the project is. If you go to the next slide, or do I have control of the slide too?
No.
Okay. There we go. Okay, slide 2. So the BioFine project to be built there on the Lincoln Paper and Tissue Mill is the first phase of a multi-phase industrial scale complex to take cellulosic wood waste and paper waste and convert it into a number of valuable co-products, primarily into something called ethyl levulinate, or EL100. We'll produce 3 million gallons of that a year, and it is a drop-in green carbon negative substitute for fuel oil. We also will be producing a number of other products that I'm going to talk about a little bit more, but they include biochar for energy production and sequestration of carbon. We produce sodium formate, which is a regulated de-icing agent that's used at airports. We produce another specialty chemical called levulinic acid that's used in pharmaceuticals and cosmetics. This is a very local project, sourcing local paper waste from around Maine, sourcing local wood waste from the immediate Lincoln area, 40,000 tons a year of it in the first phase. Local engineering and construction, Chinbro is our EPC contractor. I'm very pleased to be working with them, and we have local offtake from Sprague, who will be a distributor of our fuel product. The project is also operating a pilot plant at the University of Maine. Some of you have had the opportunity to visit. We'd like to extend that invitation to anybody who hasn't had the opportunity to. But that pilot has been operating for decades now, and will continue to, because it's our facility for for research and development of new products. So I want to tell you what we've been doing since we saw you. The last time I was here was January 22nd. It was a lot colder and darker, but we've been busy. So if you go to the next slide, please. On January 26th, we had issued our final form independent engineering report from national engineering firm Leidos, who confirmed not only the design effectiveness, but also the scale up. I think I reported to you that we had that in draft form. We got it in final form just a few days after I last saw you. In February and March, the shareholders funded a significant cash call over $500,000. We set about revising our project offering memorandum for financing parties to include the couple of new products that I mentioned. We also made revisions to the site area that I'll talk about, and we finished the process of defining that new lease premises and are in the process of amending the lease that I'm sure Mr. Bronson will tell you about in time. We initiated project testing of the sodium formate de-icing with the National Testing Laboratory. And we also received our final FEL 3 inside battery limits design. So the ISBL is the core part of our project, the actual process plant that makes the fuel. And through this month and last month, we've been finalizing our DEP permitting applications. And with this most recent cash call, the shareholders have funded more than $20 million of research and development into our products. And that funding brings us to $2.5 million focused directly on the Lincoln project. If you go to the next slide, we are, as I said, we're deep into the permitting process. We expect to have all of our permits in final form and applications submitted to the Maine DEP by the end of this month. On August 6th, we've held our pre-application conference with Maine DEP. August 27th, I think it says 22nd there, but we've changed that now. It's August 27th. There will be a public information meeting held online for Maine DEP for anyone, any members of the public that want to ask questions about the project. Final form applications will be submitted by August 31st. Our expectation with Maine DEP is that that their process and their timing for completion of those applications and issuing final form permits will take 6 months. So so that effectively becomes our timeline for financial closing. And I'll talk about timeline, but if you do the math, that suggests that we've slipped about 1 fiscal quarter, which is right. So we are now looking at financial close in the first quarter of 2025. I mentioned the site lease amendment. If you go to the next page. Great, awesome, thank you. So the original site that was in the lease that we signed with y'all ended at I'll just point it out here, at a line that came straight down here. When we added the new sodium formate project and decided to increase the size of our wood yard, we decided we needed a little bit more space. So working with the manager's staff and engineers, and legal team, we defined a larger area that is outlined in red that will include the old building 6 and 7 foundations now that we will build warehouse and storage and a tank farm on, as well as the sodium formate or evaporator module that we need to build. So the amendment to the lease will include corresponding increases to lease rents and to tax base for all of you. It also improves truck circulation and fire access at the mill. If you go to the next slide, please. So we are going to put some signage up finally. We've had a tremendously hard time getting someone to do a rendering for us, based on the information we're able to provide, but this is sort of our initial mock-up of what the sign will be. We want to place that at the Depot Street entrance. And if you go to the next slide, you can see maybe a little bit more detail. On the one side, this will be 4 feet by 16 feet with the rendering on one side and logos of all of our project partners, most of whom you probably recognize, and that we're proud to have involved with us. So we're going to work to get this done, in the next several weeks. Sort of see something happening there besides all of the site work that's already been underway. If you go please to the next slide. So what are we working on now? Final permit application submissions, as I mentioned, executing the site services agreement with the town and the facilities district. So this is effectively for the water treatment. That's the primary service, as well as water supply. That is provided under that services agreement. So that is in the process of being drafted right now. We're finalizing the outside battery limits EPC contract. So this is the site civil and balance of plant, the stuff that sort of wraps around the rest of the core operating facility. So that's under a separate contract, and we're in the process of finalizing that. We are formally launching our project debt and equity funding in the next 60 days. We've been sort of waiting to crystallize the project in the permitting, and also to get this ISBL, guaranteed maximum price, before we launch officially to our financiers. We're in the process of contracting for feedstock and also for offtake of these co-products, and then we continue product our R&D. So if you go to the next page, it shows the execution timeline, and as you'll see, probably the thing you want to focus on is when do we close and when do we break ground. And it will be when the ground is quite frozen, but we will still do it. I'm determined. Notice to proceed in the first quarter of 2025. We expect to be waiting a little while, not too long, but for permits to be received in final unappealable form. This is a mistake, actually. It says finalizing site services agreement with the town this month. That is likely to be next month in its form, and then pricing probably within a month after that. So I just want to say one more word on the next page about subsequent phases. When I described the project, I said this is the first phase, BMP1, Biofine Main Phase 1. The subsequent phases are expected to be significantly larger. It has always been our intention to build more than one phase, perhaps as many as 3 or 4. And our conviction about that it continues to grow. We've actually had significant inbound inquiry and requests for access to our product coming out of Maine from very large buyers of ethylebulinate, and to the point that frankly we spent some time thinking about whether we could build both first and second phase in parallel, which we won't do, but phase 2 will come along very, very quickly after this. So we're excited about that. And I think I just wanted to relate that to you because it sort of speaks to the success we're having already on this. So I'm happy to answer any questions. Those are all the remarks I had. But again, thank you for letting me talk to you tonight again.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're talking to literally fly away.
Do you have anything else, Rick?
No,
that it?
that's
Okay.
it for me. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Item 6, planning board report.
So we had 2 items last month.
One was for a new business, Aroma Joe's, which is going to be located just past the Lincoln News. It's going to be a strictly drive-through, no indoor seating. It's going to be a coffee shop. In case you guys have seen any of them around, it'll be located right out by the road. They'll just loop around and be able to come right back onto West Broadway. The other one was a change of ownership at 90 River Road, previously known as American Marijuana Cultivators. Now it's going to be Blazing Trails. And that's all I got.
Thank you. Monthly reports, questions, comments, concerns? All right, open forum. Anyone here for open forum? Just raise your hand. Yes, sir. Yeah, step up and state your name.
Okay, my name is Darcy Reardon and I live at 22 Matt Norfolk Street, pretty much right across from the boat ramp. So it's good to meet everybody. It's great to hear about these big projects. Sounds progressing. But I think sometimes, some of us don't think about the little issues that have to do with your safety, your well-being, health. That's all what we're here for, to make the place better. So a couple of things that have been fixed that I'm happy to see is we got a dead end sign on Matt Norfolk Street. I got a no wake sign put where the boat ramp is, which is great because they finally have slowed down. And that took a little bit of work. Took a little bit of work to get it done, but we got it done. The issues that I'm having up until this point is, and I've had discussions with Wade about this, we have what was a drug house at 24 Matt Norfolk Street. There are needles in the yard. We keep the kids out of there. And the unfortunate thing is, the person that bought it, there's a bad title. I tried to purchase it. So in the interest of time, I don't want to get into that. And Wade made a point and said that we can't do anything until it's condemned. And I understand that that's a process. It takes time. You get us in a letter. You got to give the homeowner time. I live right across the street from this place. And what I don't understand is, I don't understand. Can I get this to you?
Yeah, you can.
I don't understand why we can't come up with a solution to make this a safe neighborhood. When it rains, I worry about the needles washing down the street, and I'm not being dramatic. You can go out there, I can show you right where the needles are. It's unacceptable, and something needs to be done between now and the time that Wade is able to serve whoever the owner is of the place and, fix the situation. I spent about $600 from a lawyer to research and who the owner is, and I did give that all to Wade, just to help him, navigate this mess. So it's a real concern. Another issue too is there's a vehicle there. Now, please remember, this is across the street from me. So it's about 150 feet from the water. This car's been there going on 8 years. Full tank of gas. I talked to Wade and he said that we cannot remove any vehicles unless there are more than 3. I guess that's it. This is a safety issue. This isn't about someone telling them to get their car out of the way because it looks ugly. That's an issue. In the interest of time, I'll speed ahead. I had talked to code enforcement about a camper on the same street. This house needs to be condemned. It sat there for 6 years and I couldn't get it removed. But I'm going to tell you what we did as a neighborhood since I couldn't get any action. We found out who the owner was. We called them up and they removed it in 2 days. My concern is, why couldn't we have done that? Why did I have to take that into my own hands and get rid of the RV that, was an issue? So I understand everything has a process, but these situations need to be fixed. It's great to see us working on these huge projects. Like I said, I think that's great, but we need to keep our eye on the ball on these safety issues because a kid's going to get stuck at some point. There's a lot of needles there, and I think it's unacceptable. I guess that's about it. And Wade, did you want to say anything and update me on what is going on? Because I know I contacted you about a year ago and you were helpful. You were able to come down and take a look at it. But I haven't heard anything in 12 months and I've been here since 2021. And I think it's time to get rid of the needles. I really do. So any thoughts, any progress on what's going on there?
Well, as far as the house goes, it's not condemnable.
You
It's
told me
still
that.
structurally sound. You just can't do it on single house down.
Yep.
In our ordinance, 3 or more vehicles unregistered, that's when it's considered a junkyard. Only one vehicle there, we go around town and find a couple hundred vehicles. Lots where they have one unregistered. I'm not sure if we want to change something there or not, but
Let me just jump in for a second, if I could, please. One thing that I said to Wade last year when I was trying to fix this is I said to him that 3-car rule is really for the farmers and the people that are outside of the city limits. So I think something needs to be changed. Another issue is it's less than 150 feet from the lake. So again, we're trying to clean this place up, but we've got rotting cars and campers sitting years on end. This is 6, 7, 8 years these vehicles have been there. Eventually, the gas tank's gonna rot, and it's gonna go into the lake. So I appreciate the fact that Wade needs to go by the rules and do things, but this just is not working, and something needs to be done.
We're not gonna take questions from the audience, but it sounds like unless we want something changed, it's gonna have to be an ordinance change, so that's not gonna be able to happen tonight. An open forum is not the place for the council to discuss it, so
Sure.
we'll take concern, and if the council decides to make any changes, we'll,
As far as changes, you mean about,
or any ordinance change or anything like that, like I said, it sounds like we can't do anything as the ordinance stands, so.
so we can't label that house as a health and safety issue is what, I guess what you're telling me, George?
I would imagine if
Wade? I guess we can't label the house across the street as a health hazard and go in and clean it up or contact the owner. Do something, guys. This is crazy. I'm really disappointed. I've seen some good things in this town, but this is disappointing. I pay a lot in taxes. And I bet none of you have even seen this house until today, and I'll tell you why, because it's not in your neighborhood. I look at this every day. I got a grandchild coming in October. I don't know, I guess I'll keep the shoes on. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I would like to see some action, and I will come to the next meeting. And, hopefully, as a group, we can come up with some solutions. I just think it's crazy. It would not be allowed in any other town or city, I'm sure of that. And Lincoln's better than that. We're better than that. Okay, so I appreciate your time.
Thank you for your time. Rick?
Mr. Council Chair, I think you all understand, Wade can only act upon state laws and local ordinances. When something is not covered by either of those, he has no power to do it.
Do you have anyone else here for forum?
Yes. There's some concern around the lake that people cannot get a map of the roads. So whom is in control of the 911 addresses and with the roads?
Ruth has been the addressing officer.
Okay, because I went to the post office today and I asked if we could get a map of a certain spot and they can't do that. They said everything would be done here. So if someone could come in and talk to Ruth and get a copy of a map of the surrounding roads around the lake.
I think yes, but we'll try and see.
Okay,
Ruth saying yes.
okay.
Yes.
So if I come, I can get one of the proposal? Yeah. All the roads on it?
Yes.
Can you do that?
Yes.
Thank you.
We had a safety issue on the pond and it came to our attention that we don't go the other roads and we're lucky that it was on Folsom. So we just want to hopefully we'll put it on Facebook. And I think we'll put it on for those out there. Thank you.
We can only do what's allowed to by law. Yep. All right. Yes, sir.
Just make a quick comment about this
Hey,
battery.
yes, yeah.
My name is Andy Finaro, 710 Main Street. And I think, I know I was shocked to read in the paper about this battery factory or whatever it's going to be. It seems to be accepted as universally a great thing. But, you know, I'm wondering, it sure seems like the future of this town is being dictated to us by Washington and politicians in Augusta. There's been no public discussion about the effects of having a giant, battery. This is going to be the biggest battery, whatever, iron air battery system in the world. And there's been no public discussion about, the shelf life of these batteries. I think is 25 years. What's going to be done at that point with this, debris? Is it going to bring jobs? Are these jobs going to be government funded? Are we going to be dependent? Is this town going to be governed, dependent on the government for funding for everything? I just think there's a lot going on that, people should have some input. And you guys should be making the decisions about the effects of this and talking about it, and not just, let's find police and go for it. Just because the politicians, it's election year and they want to get through their funding before the election. We need to discuss this. I don't think it's all great things with this factory. And I think we need to discuss openly the downsides of it.
Thank you. Rick?
Mr. Council Chair, I'd answer a few of those questions quickly.
I'd appreciate it. Just listen, this is my time to.
Yeah, you yielded your time, so Rick, go ahead.
So this is not a factory of any variety. It is an electrical storage facility. As we're doing with Biofine, as we negotiate the lease with them, we will include something that none of the paper mills ever had, which is a cleanup fund for when they leave, because they all come to such a day at some point in history. And part of what Biofine has agreed to is the funding of a fund that the town will have to use to clean up after them if in fact they don't do it themselves. The same will be true in this. As far as number of people, this is going to employ around 100 people to build it and half a dozen to operate.
Thank you. All right, anything else for forum? All right, item 9, recognition. We have a discussion item.
Sorry, I didn't want you to miss your chance.
Thank you, John.
All right, recognition. So I asked for this so we could recognize all the volunteers and for the Loon Festival. So I would like to thank Maggie Rogers, Ashley Mitchell, Brian Coombs, Kathy Mushrow, Kathy Moisen, Cole Averill, Mary Bees, Ann Morcus, Tony Morcus, Kelly Butler, and then there was some anonymous volunteers. Then donations, we had Lincoln Power Sports. They donated the use of side-by-sides. Wendy's donated breakfast and burgers for the eating contest. Hannaford donated food and for volunteering and for the bands, the volunteers and for the bands. Poland Springs donated the water to pass out for the festival goers. Winton's donated the use of the walkie-talkies, and Northeast Paving and the town of Easy both allowed us to use their digital signs. So thank you for everyone that volunteered or donated. And item 10, discussion on Taylor Street road conditions, storm drains, the Haley Ward engineering quote. So I think everyone's seen my email. I went out with Dennis. We looked at the roads, saw that the contractors were basically about doing everything they were supposed to do. They covered the drains. they're doing the work. They're gonna be paving when they're done. Like I said, we didn't see any, some silt got into the ditch there. But that happens every year. It may have more this year, but I think Dennis, when we talked, thought it might have been from the big rain that cleared out the storm drains from the groundwater, but it was our opinion that everything is done spec. Thank you.
If I could, I would
Yeah.
speak just a minute on this. As George said, we all know that there's a project going on Taylor Street as a water upgrade. It's sponsored by the Water District. The contractor that they have there is a very reputable contractor, and in my opinion, he is following industry standard. They've gone down all the drain basins and they put filter cloth there to keep sediment from going into our lake. It is working. A negative effect of that is that the water does drain slower. And we had a large amount of sand go down the ditch and out into the lake. The DEP did make a visit and said that we were going to leave the sand as it was. There's no oil emanating from it. There's no pollution sheen on the water. It's basically sand. And so in my opinion, that the contractor is doing the job exactly as they should. They're ahead of schedule, and the next point is paving, which is finished step of the job.
And you mentioned you've done it before, is you go in during the winter and dig out that ditch a little bit.
We did that last year after the ground was frozen, and we'll do it again this year.
Yeah. Council have anything or questions? All right, we can open that up to anyone else.
So I live on Taylor Street and I have retired and I have a lot of time to sit and watch what these construction crew has done. My name is Chris Ginn. I'm at 51 Taylor Street.
Chris, what?
Ginn, Ginn. I've watched and have video of Eastwood coming through and emptying all of those culvert drain things that they had onto the street and left it there. And when they saw me videotaping, that's when they finally took my drain and put it in the back of the truck. So I know they're not doing everything that you guys are telling us, that they are doing this by the book. They're not. We're the ones that are sitting here facing all this. We're the ones watching all the storm drains get filled with garbage. And now they're finally coming through and putting storm drain filters. What about my driveway? My driveway got dug up because of the water that there's a trench going down the side of my driveway where the water runs. And that's right where they dug at the side of my driveway. They said they would not touch my driveway. Half of my driveway is already collapsing. Every time it rains, my driveway is collapsing more. When is this going to be fixed and who's going to fix it? Because I'm not. I was told by them, by Eastwoods, that they would not touch my driveway. So why am I now facing trouble with my driveway?
Say if they touch your driveway, you should talk to the water district.
I did. I came to the town. I was told to go to this person. Then I was told to go to this person. So I went to the water district and I've heard nothing. I've seen nobody come to my house, not a single person. So I've done what I'm asked to do. I went to the water district and I asked, and I'm not getting any answers. So I'm coming to you to ask for an answer.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Bridget O'Donnell. I live on Taylor Street and I'm relatively new to the beautiful community of Lincoln, Maine. And I would just like to thank you for taking what I say tonight into consideration. I'm curious to know here how many people live on Taylor Street. Okay, and sir, who is the gentleman that just got up and said that the contractors are doing? Thank you. I would respectfully rebuttal with you, sir. The reason being is because I live on 27 Taylor Street. And I take great pride in my property. It is lovely. The street is beautiful. I'm proud to live on that street. People take care of their homes. They have beautiful lawns, and they care for the most part. This circumstance has gone on continuously. Last year, I had a huge, it was like a grave. Honestly, it was like a 6-foot grave at the end of my driveway from water. You won't hear me complain. I'm a trooper. Somehow they came in, filled it with rocks, and it was okay. This summer, every rainstorm we have had, you might as well say that I'm taking a hit on 27. We have pictures to prove that. It is a small pond at the end of my driveway. It is a safety hazard. The other day, I left town. I work remotely right now, over 40 hours a week, and I'm a full-time graduate student. I'm home quite a bit. I had to leave this weekend to leave town and go to the coast. My driveway was so flooded that I could not drive out of it. Somebody called for the fire department to drain my driveway. I don't know the technical terms. I'm not a construction worker. I'm not an engineer, and I'm not a water person. But I do have common sense. And I have common sense about safety. And I have a lot of understanding about community and how we all should band together to keep this town as beautiful as it can be. And how we all should have the commitment and integrity to fix the really small, not insurmountable problems, but little problems that can become big problems because it's such a lovely community. So what I'm saying to you is this situation is not, it's not getting solved. And I know it can be. I know it can easily be solved. But I think people need to have more of an awareness of what's going on. Because I would say to you, and in any circumstance that would go to court or law, I would say, if this were your situation, how would you feel? If this were your property, if this were your child, if this were your problem, how would you feel? So this is a really simple issue, I think, to remedy. And I just think we need to kind of work together, not Water District, Lincoln Council. I think we all need to have the awareness to make these little tiny problems be solvable. And that's all I would ask from you, because it has gotten a little bit out of control. The bottom of my driveway, I'm sure you've seen it, Louise, and I'm sure you've seen it. When there is a rainstorm, I almost cannot leave my driveway. And I have a low car. I don't have an SUV right now. I have a low rider that I drove to Florida and I'm still driving. So my point is, if you please just take this into consideration and help me problem solve, I would so greatly appreciate it. And hopefully, as a community, we can work together and make things a little bit better. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really would like to speak about Taylor Street. My name's Robin. I've lived there since 1986. But first, we've got a highly qualified gentleman here. I'd like him to tell me what he knows, because he's been in touch with the DEPs, and so have I. So can I sit down and let Wade talk? Could you
If
talk
Wade
to us
wants
about
to.
what you know, and then
Robin,
I'll
what's
speak
your last name?
afterwards? McComb, dear. McComb.
Thank you.
Common name in this town.
I really don't have much to say because there's obviously two issues, the standing water. And there's obviously the sediments that had flowed into the lake. I have been in contact with DEP. And as you heard, Dennis, he had stated that DEP wants that sediments to stay there. There's no sheen, there's no signs of it being hazardous or anything. So they want it to stay there. It'd be better to stay there than put a piece of equipment in the water to rub it out. Kind of makes a little bit more sense there. And as far as the filter fabric in the storm drains, those have to stay in there because that filters out any of the sediments that's coming from the road with all the construction. and obviously it's all torn up, it's all dirt. So the sediments have got to be settled in there, removed, and then put the new filter fabric in. But DEP is stating, you know, you have to have that in place. That's about all I have from them.
So just to, essentially, until the road's paved, the filter
Correct.
fabric has to stay.
Yep,
And the water will-
until the road is paved, that's gotta stay in place. Yep, and that's a standard practice with construction. Even when Rangers went up High Street, I don't know if you guys recall, all the dams pretty much going up, High Street. Every one of those storm drains had something in there because of, the construction. And we dealt with the washing out down at the mouth of Taylor Street because of that, because obviously the water wasn't drained into those drains. They basically came right down right where the mill stream is. And we ended up having quite a job there filling that in last summer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying the standing water, that's only temporary until it's done, they're done paving, it's gonna be taken care of?
Correct.
So it's only a temporary problem?
It's a temporary thing. There's two storm drains there. There's one that is on the grass area. There isn't any filter fabric there. I looked at it. So the grass is kind of filtering out the sediments and it's flowing out. So there's only a certain height that'll go. I think you may have seen that, George, when you was over there.
Yep.
It's an unfortunate situation with the water standing right there. I don't know what to do to remedy it. If we get Water District or Eastwoods to pump it out every time it rains, because it is their project. But that would be, that'd be a battle that we'd have to take up with them.
Oh,
I would like to point out that it did rain, significant rain last night, and that puddle is gone. It does drain, it just drains slowly because of that filter fabric.
Dan, you had something?
Yeah, I see in the discussion, the Haley Ward engineering quote, is that in relation to the Taylor Street project?
So we have a separate discussion. I just figured to combine them all because we do have a quote that's a street that does need the storm drains do need to be redone on that street, Hill Street and JR Drive. So we figured we're talking about it. We might as well, it's not something we didn't want to just put it on the agenda, the roadway committee met. We didn't want to just put it on the agenda for us to vote on without at least a little bit of discussion. Then we could hopefully have more discussion and vote.
Yes, just one other thing regarding the water. Was it like this prior to the road construction being?
It wasn't, the pond at the end of the driveway, literally, it was really hot. I mean, in some circumstances, I have to wait till it drains. No, not to this degree, it was not like this. But if we just go ahead and pay without dealing with the underlying issues, isn't that going to ruin things? I mean, that's not gonna work if we just pay.
I'm not an engineer or a road engineer or anything, so, but I'm just wondering if this is a chronic problem prior to the road construction.
I would speak, but Mr. Bowman. Can I, George?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, first, I'd like to thank Kathy because I reached out to her on July 25th and she created a group chat with all the counselors. So there's over 30 emails out there. I don't know, has any of you read them? You have, sir. Mr. McCarthy?
Majority of them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, I know George has been there and responded. I'd like to start with the positives in this whole scenario. And I'd like to give a heartfelt thank you to Lincoln Fire Department. Those people are there 24/7. I called them Saturday morning. Actually, I did it through Facebook Messenger. Reached out to Lincoln Fire Department Saturday morning, because poor Bridget here is taking the brunt of everything. She is my dear neighbor across the street. Okay? And what she says is very true. It's appalling. Okay? And for somebody that's lived in Bangor to come here and try to navigate your system, I think just as much as you said, sir, it's very complex. When you come to this town, unless you know all the faces. I've lived on Taylor Street since 1986. I've paid property taxes to the town of Lincoln since I was 20 years old. Okay, so I'm thankful the fire department came. Jake Hammond came, just like that. Those people are always there. Unlike our public works department.
No, we're not
But
bad mouthing, or are you gonna?
he dealt with the issue. Street flooding is a safety issue. So I'd like to thank our fire department. Next, you kind of alluded to that. For 3 consecutive summers, the residents of Taylor Street have endured outside contractors. Okay? I live at 26. Okay, my back lawn has a sewer storm drain on it, okay, on my back lawn. So 3 years ago, I have great communication with Scott Heseltine, no problem there. I love to hang clothes on my back clothesline, look at the lake. I had Taylor Street sewer was bypassing and feeding to my manhole, Mattinock Street.
I'm getting there in about 1 minute when you're done.
Mattinock Street. Okay, so we endured that. We lived through that 3 summers ago. Okay, last summer we had Bangor Gas digging up our street. Very poor communication. In fact, I talked to Jeff Day about that, and I really, really wish Jeff Day was here tonight because I know there's a ball being passed back and forth on this issue, and it is a water district job. Okay. My husband and I, between us, have over 60 years construction experience. He's a supervisor for Sullivan Air Contractors. Drives a company truck home every night. So all summer long with Eastwood Construction, who has not followed environmental rules until I gave Jeff Day a call. Okay. These guys had all the equipment in the world. And if I could see the prints, and I talked to Steve from Ranger, very nice guy, very good company. They didn't follow environmental protocol. And if I could see the cover sheet with the prints, I could point that out. Engineering. When I contacted Jeff Day, I think it was Monday, July 15th, and said, Jeff, you got to come down and look at my back lawn because the ditch borders our property. And the town of Lincoln has an easement on that ditch. Okay. So Jeff, no exaggeration. I got a dump truck full of sand in my back lawn. I got a sandbar, 25 foot long. I got pictures to send you of me in a lawn chair up there. So Jeff came right down. He's always very attentive, always very good. Okay. And he brought a gentleman, I don't know his last name, maybe you do, Wade. His name is Andrew. He's got red whiskers. He's not a very old man. He's quite young. So he brought him. I said, you know, that's got Eastwood Construction written all over. They agreed it was not 1 dump truck full of sand, but 2 dump trucks full of sand. You see, because we have an annual washout event on Taylor Street, and it's been going on with Bridget's little corner there for at least 4 years, and it's been documented. Okay, and it all is the fish hill, the springs, the whole problem with that whole area, the storm drains, the culverts. They all feed in to that one culvert that flows past my house. So I'd like to see this taken care of, because if it gets to the point that my back lawn is flooded and I cannot use it, I'll do something more than come to the town council. We need to remedy this. So I think Mr. Bullen said what their plan is for the ditch, but in all honesty, you ought to come there and look at it. It's a daily event that changes with every storm. Is there a municipal ordinance in this town that requires contractors to protect any and all storm drains that might be affected by said contractors? And would the intent being to keep all construction debris out of storm drains? We have that this time. City of Bangor does. My husband's doing a job at Fairmont School. First thing he's got to do is put buckets in every storm drain there. You know, and I can say with pretty good confidence that Eastwood should have done that. That was never done until my phone call July 15th. And I called DEP then too myself, so I'm in contact with them. This was not a good contractor, at least the woman who did his opinion, okay? But like my neighbor here, Mr. Again, I'm retired. I can see everything from Ariel Street to 50 Taylor Street, okay? I got a pretty good view there. And the way this whole job was run, was a shit and get. They did it just as fast as they could. At one point, we have Taylor boarding home up the street. We have a lot of retirees, okay? They had an excavator to the left of the street, an excavator to the right of the street, and a dump truck dead center. And we had ambulances and sirens coming down the road. It was a considerable amount of time, too long, before they could get access to get to the problem, the call that they were answering. Okay? So for someone that doesn't live in this neighborhood, that makes a blanket statement, I think we have the facts that disagree with that. When does Public Works go to a 8-hour days? When do they have a 5-day work coverage? When does that schedule change? Okay, well, we're gonna be in dire straits until we get Taylor Street paved. Because number one, you would never put storm drains on a dirt road. We're basically living on a camp road right now. Not everybody's affected. Not every storm drain has a fabric in it. There are a few people, because the water line isn't a straight shot. By Bridget's, it's on her side of the road, so it's nothing but dirt. Then it takes a dog leg after that, goes down the center. I could tell the names of houses have no problem, because they're all hot top on their side of the street. Okay? So I'm sorry not everybody got on board with the email. I tried to explain things and hash things out, but when's your next town council meeting?
Second week in September, second Monday.
September.
Huh?
Second Monday.
And when do you need the agenda done before that council meeting? On what, Monday before?
Wednesday before council.
So I think we've got a neighborhood here that extends clear down to Norfolk Street. That's pretty committed to getting the service we feel we deserve as residents of this town. And I guess it's my fault that I did not personally put an email to John Trask, personally one to you, personally one to each one of you. But you know, it's nice today, right now, to have a voice, because we need that in our neighborhood.
I think you need to have a voice with the water district though. You have to.
I wish
why
Jeff
are they
Day
not?
was here.
Why are they not addressing your concern?
I've got it.
Well, they're not part
They're
of
two
town council.
separate
That's the one.
entities, and this is what we fall into. But you know, Jeff Day, I'm really disappointed because he's always pulled through.
He always
George
is
used the
attentive.
phrase, good confidence that Eastwood wouldn't do that. Excuse me, blind faith is not gonna help us on Taylor Street.
I said, if you said you personally saw them.
I
Okay.
personally saw the man.
Yeah,
I
you
talked
will
to
lower
him.
your voice or you'll be asked to leave. You said you personally saw them poking holes in it. So if you have video of that,
I
please
don't
forward it and we will,
I don't
we
need
can
video,
hand that over
sir.
to DEP and the police.
You know, really, nobody in this town has ever questioned my integrity. Okay? I don't need a video. I know what I saw and it's true.
Unfortunately, we can't go on, you saw something. There's,
You can't, sir, but I think I'll end right now. That's why I wanted to speak on. You'll probably be back. But are you all aware of what we're dealing with on Taylor Street now? And yeah, we'll be at Jeff Day's door. But
that
we
was,
all live in the town of Lincoln.
But if your dooryard, sir, wasn't like this before this project, and you didn't have all that water at the end of your driveway before this project, not the council, it's the project that caused this. And why can't you get answers?
Where's our voice for the Lincoln Water District? The girl, you call in the girls, they're just employees, they don't make these decisions.
No, but Mr. Day is generally very attentive. I don't understand.
I agree totally. But you know,
I think that
Are you not getting answers from the water district, or are you not getting what you want?
No, no,
There's
no.
there's a big difference. I'm just asking, because I haven't been a part of any of those
Just been on
conversations.
vacation for a week. I did text him one day, but I do have some compassion for the man.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, he's been on vacation for a week. I truly thought he'd be here tonight. I guess we need to set down a time. It's not that I'm not putting the answers I want to do. Because what we need is to have pavement laid down,
Well,
and that'll greatly rectify the problem.
which they'll do as soon as they get to the point that they can do it.
911 is on a schedule that's posted on the water district. 911, wrap up 9:20. That's a long time away for Bridget. What if she loses her car because of this scenario? Because she's telling you the truth.
It's a small farm. Like literally, if it were the end of your driveway, you could be concerned. You would be. I mean, in all honesty.
I actually rode down there Saturday after all the rain got gone, so I know what you're talking about. I'm not gonna argue with you. But I saw what you're saying Saturday morning when I rode down there. Don't know that there would have been any issue driving through that, but.
I also just want to add that if you're not getting somewhere with the water district, they do have a trustee board of 3. They do meet, I don't know exactly, I can't tell you exactly when they meet, but when they do meet, they do post their agendas, same with the sanitary district in our front office out there. You're welcome to stop at any time and look at those, see what's on the agenda, and I believe they also have some sort of public forum where you can show up at those meetings.
you know what time it is tomorrow night?
I want 2 minutes.
Ask me, I speak for a second. I realize I'm not a resident of town of Lincoln.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll step up to the microphone since everyone else has, so it's green, so that's good. Well, first of all, for those that don't know me, my name is Chris Beck. I happen to be the editor of the Lincoln News. And I do know, because it's on my calendar, that the Lincoln Water District Board of Trustees is meeting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at the District Trustee office over on Taylor Street. And that's
Thank you.
all I wish to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Tuesday night, 7 PM. I don't remember what number Taylor Street it is, but it's right where their office is.
Thank you, Chris.
2 minutes.
No, we're done with,
But I have the right to speak regarding Taylor Street, so that if anybody wants to speak about Taylor Street, and here I am, and that's why I came to the meeting.
all right, I'll give you got 1 minute.
1 minute. It's great to hear that Taylor Street has drains, because Matt Norfolk doesn't have any drains. I've been waiting 5 years to get that
You
place.
said you want to speak on Taylor
I'm
Street.
gonna get to that, sir. I'm gonna get to that. Will Matt Norfolk Street be paved, since you've been telling us since 2021 that it would be, along with Taylor Street? Will that be taken care of? I have water going through my basement, including all the other, because everything that comes from Taylor Street ends up on Matt Norfolk. And that's just a fact, I understand that I live in a low level elevation, but I want an answer, because I think it's unacceptable to be doing, other work and not taking care of water issues like she had said. So I'd like an answer. I heard a rumor that they ran out of money, and again, they're not gonna do it. So this is 21, 22, 23, 24. I don't know. They dug up the drains last year, and I just can't believe that we're not gonna get that paved. I would love to have some drains too. That would really excite me. So that's what I have to say, and I'll come to the next meeting and see if you guys may be able to get some answers to me. Does that sound fair?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So now we're gonna move this to the council discussion on, oh, Dennis?
I just want to make clear, paving from Mount Norfolk is on the schedule this upcoming year. Sewer district went down there and tore that street, up to reline the sewer. They have to warranty it for 2 years, which is why the street wasn't.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you for that information.
All right, so we're moving on to the Haley Ward engineering quote discussion piece for the council. So I don't know if everyone got a chance to look at the quote. The engineering study, I believe, was 75,000.
Yes, 75.
Yeah. $75,000. So we discussed at the roadway committee meeting, and we figured we'd pick it up to the council to kind of push us in a direction of what we want to do. I'm more of the opinion, we know we have to do Taylor Street, we know we have to do Hale Street, we know we have to do GR Drive. Do we want to do the engineering study on all three? And then, once we have that, then we can determine what the cost will be, and then determine how we move forward with replacing storm drains.
So my question would be,
Yeah, go ahead.
so, I mean, wouldn't it make sense to have the study done with those three one time?
That was my thought, Jerry.
Yeah, I think definitely get the study done for all three. I just wanted to point out that we had discussed part of the reason for wanting this engineering done is because there are some grants available that Dennis has started exploring a little bit. But we gotta have a cost in place, you know, to know what we need for money. So I think it's important that we get this engineering aspect of it out of the way.
It also seems to me that if you do engineering for one of them, it doesn't take into account what might happen when you put in the others. I think that doing all three makes more sense. So that if there's going to be something that changes on one, it's taken into account on the others.
Dennis?
This engineering study will provide us with an estimated cost of what the project would cost us.
So I guess the question from the council is, would you like to see Dennis come back with a quote for all three streets at the September meeting for us to vote on? Yeah. Okay.
Justine Drake, who's one of the engineers that we deal with Haley Ward, is aware of the condition and what we've been talking about. She volunteered, she offered to come to this meeting. She said she'd come to any meeting. And so if we want to decide we want to have her testimony, she'll attend the meeting. And then she also told me that they are ready to move on this. With an okay from me, they'll start.
And I know the other thing, just to put it out there for the public, was the question would be, why wouldn't we be doing this before they're gonna pave? But unfortunately, this process might take 1 to 3 years, so we want them to pave the street on Taylor Street. And then, yes, we will have to tear it up, but unfortunately, we don't have the information that we need to be able to do the work, so.
And we have other areas too. We've talked about the JR Drive and the Hale Street. And so maybe we could do one of those others, sooner, not tear the new pavement up. But it remains to be seen what the engineer had to say and what the price is going to be.
Yep. All right. Unless there's anything else, we can move on. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Lee. All right, item 11, award bid. Suggest motion move to award the bid to the Public Works, a 1999 Interstate 20-ton capacity tag trailer sold as is to Eric Delfuso in the amount of $1,050. Any discussion? Roll call.
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Moisten,
yes,
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes. Vote passes 7-0. Item 12, award bid. Suggest motion move to award the bid for the 2024 roadside mowing contract to Hams Hogging in the amount of $9,000.
Second.
Second discussion?
Discussion. Is this the outfit that has the thing that goes up the trees?
No. Well, they do have one, but it's not the one.
We're not doing that in neighborhoods, congested neighborhoods anymore. This is a roadside mowing like the grass on the shoulders of the road, which we do every year. I would like to add this in that Jeremy Ham, the owner of this company, has offered us a 3-year deal at that same price if we were to opt for that. If not, we'd go back out to bid again next year with the possibility that the price would increase.
How much did we budget for it?
We budgeted a little bit more, 9,500.
Yeah, I think, because, yeah, we can, maybe next year we can, if they're willing to, for the budget, maybe he's willing to do a 3-year, even if it goes up, same price if it goes up, if he's willing to do 3 years, we can budget for that. We can lock in. Do we know what it was last year?
Last year it was a different scope of work.
Okay,
But they did the airport last year as well. And the price was 10,000.
okay, so it's more of a. Good, thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call?
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Moisten,
yes,
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes. Vote passes 7-0. Item 13, award bid, move to award the bid for the purchase of winter sand to EH Downs for $397 per yard, FOB, and $992 per yard delivered.
Move to award.
Executive discussion? Roll call?
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Moisten,
yes,
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes. Vote passes 7-0. Item 14, approved contracts. Suggested motion move to enter into a contract with D&D paving to remove and replace existing curb and sidewalk on Route 2 Main Street from the north side of Haines Street, continuing approximately 1,330 feet to the end, and to end at the, I guess that's supposed to be Rogers, small engine repair, an amount not to exceed $87,750 with funding to come from the Public Works Reserve Fund.
So moved.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. And just correct me if I'm wrong, Dennis, but this would be this would be offset by whatever Bangor Natural Gas pays for the paving.
That is correct. Whatever their end of the paving comes will be subtracted from that 10 or 15% more match.
Okay.
We're actually getting onto their contract.
Anyone have anything? All right, roll call?
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Moisten,
yes,
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes. Vote passes 7-0. All right, item 15A, discussion FY 2025 mill rate.
We're hoping to send tax bills out next week. And with the preliminary, I'm going through audits right now, but right now, the mill rate that I have calculated out is $20.60 per thousand. It seems like a decrease over the mill rate of last year of $25.72. It actually is not, because if you remember, there was a 30% increase across the board in valuations. With that increase, the mill rate goes down. So the average homeowner will see an increase, and I'm talking about a value between about 120 after their homestead exemption. Their average increase would be $250 a year.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
As far as the retired folks that had that deal last year where those taxes didn't go up,
They're gonna get hit with the increase from last year.
but just the increase, right? Just the increase from last year and the increase from this year.
That is correct.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
I got some people asking me, I can't explain it.
It's going to be for the retired people who are 65 and over who qualify for the property tax exemption program. It's going to be a pretty bad sticker shock because we went up about 12% last year and we're going up again this year. So they're going to see that all at once.
Yep.
I would like to say that the property tax exemption program, even though it was removed this year, they have increased the limits on the tax rent refund program. So they've increased that. they have a limit on your income on what you can get back in taxes, but they've increased that for people. So I encourage all residents who qualified for that to, on your income tax, let your tax professional know, because they have increased that and there is some benefit there to compensate for that adjustment.
That was a snafu. And I'm being polite.
You know, sometimes we have a saying in here, we don't make the laws, we just are tasked with the
These
duty
are-
of carrying it out.
These are a lot of single income, low, fixed income folks that.
Mhm.
Well,
So in essence, I agree.
thank you.
What did you say, $20?
$20.60 per thousand. And last year, if you remember, the mill rate was set at $25.72. I just want to be very clear that because we increased the values, just because the mill rate sounds lower doesn't mean that your taxes are going to be reduced, because they are.
Thank you. Item 15B, confirm 2025 mill rate. Suggest motion move to confirm the FY 2025 mill rate at, it was $20.60.
So move.
Second.
Seconded. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Moisen,
yes,
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes. Vote passes 7-0. Item 16A, authorized transfer. Suggest motion move to authorize transfer of $65,008.57 in unexpended TIP funds to the undesignated TIP reserve account. Seconded. Discussion? All right, roll call?
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Moisen,
yes,
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes. Vote passes 7-0. Item 16B, authorized transfer. Suggest the motion move to authorize transfer of $40,342.60 in unexpended funds to the TIF Economic Development Reserve Fund, as well as $35,624.44 in unexpended funds to the TIF Dam Reserve Fund.
So move.
Second discussion?
A quick question. I want to understand the dam reserve fund. That's, we must have already money in that. That is to take care of.
It's a damn fun. Good.
It's the dam fund. Yeah. I'm just wondering, is that getting close to covering what we need? Okay. That answers my question.
Ruth, do you happen to know how much is in there currently? Off the top of your head?
That will be the actual balance of the.
Okay.
That will be.
So,
Okay.
thank you, John, very well.
Welcome.
All right, roll call.
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Moisen,
yes,
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes. Vote passes 7-0. Item 17, approved purchase. Suggested motion move to approve purchasing the Lincoln Airplane Owners Pilots Association Incorporated lot on the Airport Road map 29 lot 5 in the amount of $55,000 with funding to come from the undesignated TIP reserve accounts. Note, this account will be reimbursed by the FAA and DOT for 95% of the cost through a pending FAA grant.
So move.
Second.
Seconded. Discussion? Roll call?
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Moisen,
yes,
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes. Vote passes 7-0. Approved closure. Suggest motion move to approve the closure of Prince Thomas Park for the Harvest Fest Food Truck and Artisan Festival on September 21st, 2024.
So move.
Second.
Second, discussion? Roll call?
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Moisten,
yes,
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes. Vote passes 7-0. Item 19, approved closure. Suggest motion move to approve the closure of Veterans Memorial Square for the Harvest Fest Food Truck Artisan Festival on September 21st, 2024.
So move.
Made second, any discussion? Roll call?
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Moisten,
yes,
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes. Vote passes 7-0. Item 20, waive fee. Suggest a motion move to waive the vendor fee for the vending during Harvest Fest to encourage maximum participation.
Second.
Made second, discussion?
We do that during home festival.
Yeah, we do not, they do not pay the vending fee.
That's good. They do not.
But the farmer's market has to.
Right.
Yes.
Any other discussion?
Can you remind me what that total is?
So what?
The vendor fee for Loon Fest, it's for non-food trucks, it's $40. For food trucks, it is $100 or $200, depending on the size. And what I plan to do is pretty much just open it up to food trucks. I have 5 of them that are gonna be here. They're confirmed from the local area. As far as like artisans and vendors, it's kind of just opening up to whoever wants to come to help stimulate the local economy. I figured with Christmas coming up, people can either spend money at Walmart, Target, stuff like that, or they can spend money from, the local artisans in the community. I mean, we could change it to charge farmers market prices. I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's $5 per week for farmers market. So I mean, I could match that to $5. It's just a nominal fee.
I think that would be fair.
Yeah, I mean, we could change that to just $5 for, or to match the farmers market fee, their fee structure.
Have to,
Amend that.
Dan made the motion, so we have to amend it. We have to get a second.
Well, I would like to amend it, that we charge the same vendor fee that we charge the farmer's market.
Do you have a second?
Second.
We got a motion by Dan, second by Gordon. Any other discussion? Roll call?
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Moisten,
yes,
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes. Vote passes 7-0. Thank you. Item 21, approve renewal state liquor license application, Jado Highlands Golf Course. Note this business has been in operation for more than 5 years and does not require a public hearing. Suggest a motion move to approve the renewal state liquor license application for Jado Highlands Golf Course.
So move.
Second.
Made seconded. Discussion? Roll call?
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Moisten,
yes,
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes. Vote passes 7-0. Item 22A, public hearing. Suggest a motion move to open a public hearing for the purpose of hearing all written comments on the proposed renewal state liquor license application for Charlie Seafood.
So move.
Second.
Made seconded. Roll call?
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Moisten,
yes,
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes. Vote passes 7-0. We are entering in at 8:23 PM. Questions, comments, concerns? Anybody? Is it out at 8:23 PM? Item 22B, suggest motion move to approve a renewal state liquor license application for Charlie Seafood.
So move.
Second.
Been seconded. Roll call.
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Moisten,
yes,
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes, vote passes 7-0. Item 23, accept grant funding. I suggest motion move to accept the non-matching grant from the Maine EMS Stabilization and Sustainability Grant Program in the amount of $65,140.61.
So moved.
Second,
Accepted. Discussion? Roll call?
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Moisten,
yes,
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes. Vote passes 7-0. Item 24, approve funding. Suggest a motion move to approve the audit proposal for FY 2021 through FY 2025 from Deffer Moss in the amount of 128,000 with funding as follows. Finance audit fees 16,000, TIF economic development 20,000, and unassigned funds 92,000. Motion made seconded. Discussion?
I have a couple of questions.
Go ahead.
The proposal doesn't speak to any kind of a timeline. So we're already 3 years behind in these audits. Do we have any idea what kind of a timeline we're looking at? And my second question is, they're offering as part of this proposal, pre-audit preparation, which I believe we're also paying Barry Dunn to do. So where's the overlap?
I think Melissa can speak to this because she's been in contact with them more than I have. But as far as the timeline is concerned, I'm under the impression they intend to go on with it immediately.
They do plan to start immediately. And their goal is to be done, all 4 of them, by, I believe they said the end of the first quarter of 25. So.
Okay, it would be good to have that in their proposal, because right now there's no, we can't, if they don't meet any timeline, we have nothing to go back on to them with because their proposal doesn't speak to a timeline.
Can we just, can we just add that as a condition in this motion? That it be completed by a certain date?
Yeah.
I think you can, and I think we can get them to put that in the.
So.
And is there any savings for the overlap?
I was not aware that it had pre-audit work in their proposal. I've been talking to Barry Dunn. Barry Dunn works with this company quite often. I can clarify with that in there as well, that they are not performing any pre-audit services.
Okay. It could have been that I picked that up in their statement of qualifications that they do that, but it sounded like that was one of the services that they're offering to us, which, you know, pre-audit work is a good idea. Just don't want to pay for it twice.
All right.
That's all.
So Jared's amendable, you have to amend your motion to.
Yep. Move to approve audit proposal for 2021 to 2025, not 128,000 pending Road Effer Moss adding a timeline to their proposal.
We have a second? Second. Right, motion made and seconded. Roll call? Yep.
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Moisten,
Yes.
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes. All right, item 25, approve proposals. Suggest motion move to approve the police chief recruitment proposal from Municipal Services Incorporated in the amount to be determined with funding to come from the police advertising recruitment budget line item.
So move.
What was the?
What's the number? Rick wants to speak.
Yeah, go ahead, Rick.
I think you make it read not to exceed 6,000. They have offered a menu of things they would do, but the ones that we are going to select, I believe, will not come to more than 6,000.
An amount not to exceed 6,000. Do we have a motion?
Second.
Second, any other discussion? Nope, no public discussion on this. Right, roll call?
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yeah.
Counselor Moisten,
Yes.
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trapp,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes. Vote passes 7-0. Item 26. Suggest a motion, move to approve option number, go option 2, as shown above in the amount of total cost of $128,916 with funding to come from what we have previously authorized, DOT, and the insurance payout. We the funding options.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. Is everyone good with it? It was 128,000, DOT's paying 77,000 roughly. We have 62,989 from the insurance payout. That leaves us 11,000 and some change left. We owe an $8,000 stocking fee, and we net 3,300 roughly. If we go with option 2, so.
As you all know, this has been confusing and difficult. It's only recently that we've learned some of the actual facts involved. One is that the DOT is disinterested in putting up steel poles anywhere in the state because of the price difference between wood and steel. However, there are locations where they can't put up wood because the wood require guy wires. For instance, here in our new sidewalk on Main Street, they could not put up wood because the guy wires would impede the sidewalk. So this is a place they can use wood, and as a result, they are more willing to be what I would call helpful than they are to go with the steel. We did not understand that until quite recently. Also, well, it turns out there's been a discussion, are we insured for this, are we not insured for this? Fact is, we are insured, but grossly underinsured. So that is what has led us to the place we are now, and we are working with MMA to determine what the cost will be to change the insurance law. I don't think we've got we've got an answer to that. Great.
$3,000 a year to insure all of the traffic signals. And the policy is also the decorative street lights on Main Street and street signs throughout town.
Council Chair Edwards, may I speak to this?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Town Attorney Andy Hamilton, I would say that all that Rick and Melissa have said is correct. It is not clear under the policy that this was covered. It must have been covered because it was paid out by Maine Municipal Insurance, but I would highly recommend that you authorize the slightly increased premium to cover special equipment. And the good news is Maine Municipal is going to pursue through a subrogation claim the insurer for the motorist that struck the steel mounted pole, and through efforts that Lynn Fraser undertook with Steve Landry, state traffic engineer, we were able to get a very reasonable cost share from MDOT that would not have been available for the steel. Wood, because it can be guide, as Manager Bronson said, is what is typically going to be done for the interior communities in Maine. And it's only going to be in the truly urban setting where you really can't guide because of building structure placement, that they're going to do any cost share for the steel overhead light poles. So I think Lynn's come up with a good option too. I think Melissa was savvy to get Maine Municipal to pay out on this. As council, we recommended that she seek coverage through the pool. She got coverage and they're pursuing the subrogation claim against the motorist insurer. So I think this is ready for your action, but I do support Melissa's suggestion that you pay the $3,000 extra to cover your special equipment. Otherwise, next time may not be as good a result. And thank you again, Melissa, for your efforts.
Any other discussion? Oh, Melissa?
I will tell you that the first year of this coverage, MMA is giving it to us gratis. They will not charge us that extra $3,000 this year if we go ahead and take the insurance. It will increase next year's insurance premium starting July. of next
So it'll be in next year's budget.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you. Roll call?
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Moisen,
Yes.
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes. Vote passes 7-0.
That insurance should be on our next agenda.
All right, item 27, executive session, suggested motion, move to retire into executive session pursuant to Title I, MRSA Section 4568 for personnel.
So move. Second.
Roll call, please.
Counselor Summers,
Yes.
Counselor Ireland,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Moisen,
Yes.
Counselor Street,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Edwards.
Yes, vote passes 7-0. You're entering into 8:36 PM.
Who seconded that?
Can Kathy attend?
Who seconded that?
You.
Oh, I did. Look at me go.